mindset, uplift, manifest, momentum, mindset, uplift, manifest, momentum, mindset, uplift, manifest.
All right, welcome in everyone. You are running with the runners. It is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. March Madness is in full swing. My boys, Go Blue Michigan Wolverines, are playing to go to the Final Four tonight. I got my brother Ricardo Hamilton here. How are we doing, Ricardo? Did you have a good weekend? What's going down?
Yeah, brother, everything is good. You know, it's always great when you're in the right position. I can't complain, brother. Excited for the future as always.
So March Madness is almost over. We're almost into April, Ricardo. And on tonight's show, we're going to look at how can you become an asset millionaire. So we're really going to focus on, people, obviously, the culture we grew up in, you measure your wealth in dollars. When somebody says to you, how much is that worth? They'll usually tell you a dollar amount. So what we want to do today is kind of shift people's mindset into how they, stack their wealth and how they measure it. So thank you for everyone that's watching. Go ahead and let's start off with some hashtag silver for freedom, because we're definitely going to be talking about silver tonight. So give me a hashtag silver for freedom, because that's how we're becoming free, is escaping the system and getting real money. So let's jump into the markets today, Ricardo, because Michigan game's on at 10. So we got to wrap this up early today, but we're going to explain to you guys how to be an asset millionaire. So this is the market cap of all the assets. So what is the number one asset in the world? By far, it's gold. It's not even close. Gold at 10.7 trillion market cap. The price of gold is $16.85 right now. Apple, looks like everything was a little bit down today, at least in this market. And guys, when I saw this today, I just started laughing. Silver at $24.05 an ounce, Ricardo. Can you even believe this? I mean, I can't even talk right now because I'm laughing. So just explain to the people how ridiculous this is.
Yeah, well, there's going to come a time, and it's going to happen relatively soon, where we're going to see the correction, the real value in these assets start to be reflected in the market. The silver squeeze is still on. There's still a shortage, okay, and you still have the Reddit crowd, the Wall Street silver. Even traditional silver and gold collectors and buyers buying more than ever because they see the rigging, they see the manipulation, they know things are adding up, and it's getting to a point where they can't hide it anymore. And so, this is the time where you want to get as much of it as you can, because there's going to come a time where it's either you're priced out or you just can't get it. So this is why we've been telling people, get as much physical silver, the most undervalued asset on the planet, as you can. If you listen to Robert Kiyosaki, he'll tell you silver, most undervalued asset on the planet, silver, gold, and Bitcoin.
I mean, guys, God has blessed us. He is using the banksters who are rigging this price down and just giving us God's money for $24.05 an ounce. Not that you can actually buy it for that, but that's, the fake spot price they're rigging today. So again, let's just say thank you, JP Morgan, thank you, Nova Scotia, and all these big banks that are rigging the market. Thank you for letting, because that's what they're doing, guys. Don't get it twisted here. They're profiting off of this. They drive down the price on the paper markets, and then they take physical delivery of it. And I told you guys this last week. There's not a delivery date until the end of April in the 20s. So I expected the silver price to go down or stay even until about April 20s. So this is your window. So start buying physical silver and gold if you want to. And that's what you need to be doing right now. Crypto markets just kind of popped here, Ricardo, in the last hour. Bitcoin at 58,677. up 7% this week. Ethereum found its leg at 1840, up 10% this week. Binance BNB had a huge pump today. And, you know, we're just hands-free with BNB, Ricardo. We're just sitting back, collecting dividends in the smart contract.
Right.
You know, that coin can do whatever it wants to do.
Yeah.
My money's working for me. So good job, BNB.
Yeah, definitely.
And guys, might be a good time to buy here. Theta at under $13 at $12.95, up 27% this week. But we peaked out at about $14.50, and we're just kind of like dancing around, you know, 13, 14 bucks. Let's see who the big winners were today. Hollow Chain, BitTorrent on the Tron network, up 37%. Filecoin, we missed this one, Ricardo. You can't win them all. Up 80%. I love 0x. Has been a staple in the Ethereum industry, up 23%. But what should we buy here? What are the losers? Let's see that I like. Algorand down 5%. Digibyte down 4%. Polygon I love down 3%. So that might be something that you look at buying there. But overall, in the crypto market cap, this might be close to an all-time high.
Yeah, almost 2.
Yeah, we're at 1906. Let's do the 90. I think this might be an all-time high.
Yeah, it might be at an all-time high in the market. Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, 1.9 trillion.
Yeah, we got 1.885. So I think
it's just getting started. You know, we're really just getting started. You know, when you look at other asset classes, they're, you know, in the trillions of dollars.
Right.
And, you know, cryptocurrency is just breaking 1 trillion. You know, massive wealth transfer, you know, in these digital assets.
No, I think that's an all-time high, because this is saying 1.9, and I've never seen it. So I think we're at an all-time high.
Yeah, I agree.
So there it is, guys. You know, and you're going to see, you know, Bitcoin's going to do what it's going to do, but the real gains are going to be in the alts. So that's kind of, you know, I'm going to be focused a lot more in the next week of digging deep into the market, and we'll be doing some special training to show you guys kind of where you can find those markets. So Ricardo, let's get into, you know, why we're here. You have to shift your mindset in everything that you do, whether it's life, business, relationships, money. And once you do that, everything else changes. So as I cue this up, Ricardo, maybe and explain how we measure becoming an asset millionaire. Because I think a lot of people tonight are going to realize they're asset millionaires and they might have not known it. So maybe just talk to them about why it's so important to have the right mindset about how you measure your wealth when it comes to real assets.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I say it all the time, you know, in 2021, if you're thinking of making anything less than $1 million, you're thinking too small. And that's a mindset piece. It's understanding what it takes to actually put yourself in position to have a more secure financial future during the largest wealth transfer in history. You know, and what we're seeing right now is, while they continue to rig the price of certain assets like physical silver and even gold, even though it's at, you know, it's all near its all-time highs, still massively undervalued. And in the crypto space as well, it's those who have some that are going to be better off than those who have none, because understand that the masses of people are still sleeping. They're not awoke to what we're talking about. They're caught up in the dollar paper paradigm. They have a normalcy or complacency bias. And then even those people who will hear this information, you know, or people who are sharing information like what we're sharing, they suffer from cognitive dissonance. You know, you can't share something new with them because they believe they've heard it and seen it all. But we are truly in uncharted territory. You know, they're calling it all the time. This is a new economy. We're not going back to the old way things are done. And right now, countries around the world are positioning themselves for power. in the monetary system. And that's why we have de-dollarization. That's why we have countries dumping the treasuries, dumping the bonds, no longer trusting the dollar. Okay. And then so what you're going to see here is the correction in the real assets, the physical, tangible resources and the commodities. And so we're going to see them take off in value because also they're looking for inflation. So we know the inflation is coming. They're printing trillions of dollars. The inflation is coming. And those who have money, they want to find somewhere to put it where they're going to get some yield, where it's going to increase for them, where the purchasing power is maintained for them. So where are they going to go? They're not going to leave it in cash. They're not going to go into bonds, okay, because that's being artificially suppressed. There's no return in there for them in the bond market. They're propping up the stock market, which is very risky right now, all-time highs during a pandemic, okay? It's rigged, okay? So we're going to see Bitcoin, crypto, gold, silver, okay? Real assets, real things of real use in the economy that are going to take off in value. And we want to emphasize on, you just need a certain amount, you know, because some people like to play the minimum game. Well, we want to kind of give you the idea of, well, what's the least I got to do to put myself in position to be, if not close to, near, or a millionaire in assets, right? And so we put something together, and Mike's going to show that, just showing you the idea of what you need to have, how much of it, and where these assets are going as we come into this inflationary and very, you know, within this decade, more than likely hyperinflationary environment with where the world is going.
Without a doubt. And so, guys, I mean, you know, the T-shirt you can get from the runners.shop is what it's all about, right? I measure my wealth in ounces, okay? Once you flip that mindset, it's game over. So I'm going to explain to you guys how we do this, okay? Now, this is when I used to do presentations. This is old school. This is back in September, basically when the runners started. So we basically started on 9/1/2020. So what you do is you go to the US debt clock and you look at, okay, how many dollars are there to silver? Not their rigged price, you know, on the market with that JP Morgan rigs, but what is it really? How many dollars are there to silver in an ounce? And that helps you get this calculation. So back in September, there were $4,773 per ounce of silver. There were $30,957 per ounce of gold. Now, back at this time, again, we're going to have updated results here. Back at this time, though, silver was $26.90 an ounce. So what you do is you take $1,000 divided by whatever this number is. So when you go to the US debt clock, when we're figuring this out now, we take $1 million divided by how many dollars there are per silver ounce, and that gives us a number. So back in September, you needed 245 ounces of silver to be an asset millionaire, meaning your asset, when you factor it into how many dollars in silver there actually are, is really worth $1 million, not with their fake paper price. So then you take 245 times the price of silver. So in September, it would have cost you $6,832 to be an asset millionaire. That's it. Okay. Now we can do the same with gold. You take the price of gold back then, which is 1934. I mean, think about this, guys. The fact that gold and silver were more in September is crazy. With the massive amount of money printing, the disruption in the economy, everything that's going on, why were gold and silver more then? Why are they so down right now? Does that make any sense at all? So same thing with gold, right? You take $1 million and divide it by whatever this number is here. I'm not sure why that says that. Maybe that was a mistake back then. Nonetheless, 30.68 ounces of gold would have made you an asset millionaire in September. You take that times the price, $62,000 to be an asset millionaire. So what does it look like today? That's what we want to know, Ricardo. Okay. So let's start with gold. This is today, guys. I did these calculations this morning. How to be an asset millionaire with gold at the end of March here. Believe it or not, guys, gold was $16.88 per ounce this morning. So now, again, look at the difference here, right? Back in 9/4, $30,000 per ounce. $30,000 per ounce of gold. Now we're at $36,644. So again, you take $1 million, divide it by this number, 36,644, 27.28. So do you see how you need less ounces now? Before you needed 32,000 or 30 ounces of gold. Now you only need 27. So now you take that 27 ounces of gold, times it by the price of gold, $46,000 of gold. It would take $46,000 today to be an asset millionaire. So does everyone see that? Does that make sense, Ricardo? Am I explaining this okay?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's we're taking these figures, folks, based off of the USDebtClock.org, which has a much better accounting for the debt and the price of assets and what's going on in the economy before the government started manipulating and adjusting the data to fit their narrative. Okay, because trust and believe the numbers that we're getting, whether you're talking about CPI, inflation rate, I mean, unemployment, they're all rigged numbers. It's you're not going to get the real data. They changed it, for their particular purposes. But the USDebtClock.org is going based off of the M2 money supply, which is the Federal Reserve money, right? Divided by the available above ground, gold or silver, right? And one thing to keep in mind is that there is at this moment no real price discovery for these assets because that's just M2 money. M2 money is just Federal Reserve money. That's not including the money that the banks through fractional reserve lending have created out of nowhere, which makes the M2 money supply look like nothing. Okay. And so there is no real price discovery for these assets at the moment, but just based off of what we have from the USDebtClock.org will give you an idea that in the event when these assets do hit these price targets, okay, that these are how many ounces of these particular assets you would need before the value of those assets is $1 million, $1 million plus, right? And so, no, I mean, Mike, this is great because it helps people put them in perspective of, what they should be shooting for. Now, I never make my minimums my maximums, okay? And of course, this scenario is in the event where you need gold and silver for the crash of the dollar, for that hyperinflationary event, for these uncharted territories that we're in right now. These are the assets that you want to hold.
So get ready to have your mind blown, everyone. Okay. So $46,000 to be an asset millionaire in gold. Let's look at silver. So today, and it's actually gone down now, but silver this morning was $24.26 per ounce. So we go to the US dot clock. We see there's 5,131 ounces of silver.
Dollars per silver.
I'm sorry, dollars per silver. Okay, and again, look at back in September. It was 4,000 about. Now it's over 5,000. But the price is lower. Does that make any sense? No, of course it doesn't. So what do? We take $1 million, divide it by this number here at the dollar to silver ratio. 195 ounces, Ricardo. 195 ounces of silver makes you an asset millionaire. And look how much that has gone down. Before it was 245. And when I started doing this, it was 270. Now we're down to 195 ounces of silver makes you an asset millionaire. And how much would that cost you today, Ricardo? You take that 195. Again, of course, we can't really buy silver for this price, but $4,730 makes you an asset millionaire when it comes to silver. I mean, this is it, folks. And look at the price difference. It was $6,832 back in September. Now it's down to $4,730, makes you an asset millionaire when it comes to silver, the most undervalued asset on the planet right now. Ricardo, your thoughts on this? Is attainable for everybody. Like this, if you do not have 195 ounces of silver, make that your goal. I don't care how long it takes you, make it your goal to become free. Ricardo, this is huge. Let them know what's going down here.
Yeah, no, it definitely helps. It helps put things in perspective for some folks. And I would say, yeah, definitely at least 200 ounces of silver you would want to have. Personally, myself, I'd like to have no less than 1,000. Okay. But, at the realization of those prices for these assets, which is not far-fetched, folks. We're in an environment where they're printing trillions of dollars. They're going to have to continue to print trillions of dollars. And the confidence in the dollar, the confidence in the U.S. economy has been shaken. The confidence that Washington has everything under control and that the Federal Reserve knows what it's doing is not there anymore. And we're seeing a shell game. They're moving numbers around and they're making it seem like they know what they're doing, but they really don't know. Right now, they're just pulling levers like the little green man in the Wizard of Oz behind the screen, pulling levers, trying to create all kind of thunder and smoke and seem like they're in control when the whole world sees what's going on. We know what's going on, but the masses of people are still asleep. And this is why we do this show. This is why we tell people, look, you want to diversify, you want to hedge, okay? You want to build wealth. You want to make sure your financial future is secure in assets, okay? And I remember 2008. A lot of people remember 2008. Everything was adversely affected. 401ks, stocks, real estate, mutual funds, IRAs. I mean, everything was adversely affected. 0.5% of the portfolio was gone. People who are getting ready to retire, they realized they couldn't retire because of some actions that happened on Wall Street that had nothing to do with them. But those who were saving in gold, those who were saving in silver, not only was their wealth preserved, but it appreciated at that moment, which is the largest financial crisis in history. And now understand, we never came out of 2008, folks. They never solved the problem. They didn't fix anything. All they did was print trillions more dollars. Operation Twist, Operation this, QE, all kind of fancy code words for saying we're going to buy up the debt and print more paper. Okay, we're going to monetize the debt. We're going to print more debt, and we're going to make it look like we solved the issue. They didn't solve the issue, folks, because in 2008, we were $10 trillion in debt as a nation, national debt. Now we're over $28 trillion in debt, and now they're talking about another stimulus bill. Now they're talking about another infrastructure bill. Folks, they're not going to stop. And now they're talking about paying people every single month, okay, because they know they've crashed the economy. They know the jobs are not coming back. They're killing and getting rid of the middle class, okay? So the universal basic income, the servitude, the slavery type of scenario where you're not dependent upon yourself, or you're independent, you're dependent upon the government, okay? But we want to provide real solutions for those who don't want to be subject to whatever terms and conditions the system has for them to be able to sustain any type of standard of living. We want to make sure that we put wealth and assets and cash flow and business in your home, in your possession, so you can build wealth and secure your own financial future and chart out your own path in this new economy that we find ourselves in.
100%. And guys, this is what it's about, is just breaking free and changing your mindset. So Ricardo, this is really going to blow people's mind. So we got to talk about crypto. So how to be in the 1% of Bitcoin as of 3/30/2021. One Bitcoin is around $58,000. There are 8 billion people in the world. 1% of that is 80 million. Ricardo, and again, we have to keep in mind how far ahead of the game we are here, and everyone running with the runners. Less than 1% of the world has bought Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. So what does it take to be in the 1%? Well, there's 21 million Bitcoin ever. That's all there will ever be, And there's probably been millions lost with wallets and people sending them to wrong addresses. Well, 1% of the world, if just 1% of the world wanted to buy Bitcoin, the most they could buy is 0.2625 of Bitcoin. Now today that's worth about 15,500. But a year ago, I mean, that was like, maybe 3-4 grand easy could have gotten you 0.2 Bitcoin. So again, guys, but a year ago, I told people about Bitcoin and crypto and be like, oh, Bitcoin's $12,000 now. I can't afford it. I mean, the people care so little about, their financial education and their future. They don't even do the research to understand you can buy $10 of Bitcoin. It goes into the eighth decimal, if not more. But again, this is why it's important to get educated and get connected and surround yourself with a group of people that are winning and helping others do the same. Now, I didn't work this up, Ricardo, but if you have 1,000 theta, you are in the 1% of theta. And we've been talking about theta forever. We were talking about theta below $2 and it's, 13 whatever now. But again, that's your goal, right? So here's your goals. You want 200 ounces of silver. You want at least 0.26 Bitcoin, and you want to get 1,000 theta. Make that your goal regardless of whatever the dollar price is on an exchange or the Crimex or wherever you're looking at, guys. Measure your wealth in the asset, not the dollar. The dollar's going down. That's the one economic fact we all know is the dollar's going down.
That's our constant in these variables and equations that we're putting together. The dollar is going to continue to lose purchasing power. Yep.
So Ricardo, I mean, when it comes to crypto, when it comes to Bitcoin and assets like theta that have real world use, what is the mindset people need to have of acquiring these assets? I've been posting a little about how you get wealthy by little steps at a time. And that's the biggest barrier people have is they're like, well, I need $10,000 to invest or I can't do anything. It's slow and steady wins the race.
Yep. Yeah. It's problem, reaction, solution. They know the problem. They knew the problem since the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. Prior to the Federal Reserve, there were other central banks that have failed. They know the end game, which was to take control of this country and enslave the people through debt, in the monetary system. And so, we find ourselves in a position where they've created this environment where people are unable to maintain their standard of living because the value of the dollar continues to decline and the prices of goods and services continue to rise and everything is artificial. But now they're seeing how the people are responding to that. People are either going to ask for the government to do something, which that's what they want. They want people to go to the government for solutions, okay? But there are folks like ourselves who realize the answer is not in the government, it's we the people. And the solution to the problem that they've created, our reaction should be to exchange the fiat for assets, exchange the fiat for sound money, exchange the fiat for business that allows us to create cash flow and reduce our tax exposure, okay? Now, most people are like, man, I hope the government gives me $2,000 a month so I can just sit home and, do whatever. I want the stimulus. I want the welfare, okay? Not realizing the conditions and the consequences that has later on them and their future generations. But there are those like ourselves who are awoke to the situation and said, no, we're not going to go down that path, right? We're going to go down the path where we're going to ensure our own financial future by making sure we have money insurance. Gold and silver is insurance for your money, for your purchasing power, for your wealth, okay? Cryptocurrency is the people's money. It's the new money, okay? It's not going anywhere. because blockchain technology is not going anywhere and the internet is not going anywhere. Okay, and that's why we see major payment processors like Visa and PayPal now accepting Bitcoin. This is why we're seeing the integration of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency in every aspect of our life as it continues to evolve. And so it's those who are waking up to where we are now and what must be done that are going to create that generational wealth, that are going to be the new asset millionaires, that are going to be that new 1%, because once again, the masses of people are so far behind, folks. If you awoke right now and you're getting any type of silver, I don't care if you only got 1 ounce right now and you get 1 ounce a month, you're ahead of the game. Okay, you putting yourself in position to survive that much longer, to build wealth that much better. Okay, if you only got 0.2 of a Bitcoin, congratulations to you. Okay, most people thought they had to get a whole Bitcoin. No, you can get fractions of it. Dollar cost average in. Do $10 a month, $10 in your Sound Money wallet, get some silver. $10 in Bitcoin or a week, or every time you get paid. Okay, because one thing they are doing is they're prolonging the collapse. Okay, they want to stretch this out as long as possible because they don't want to make it so evident that they're the reason it collapsed, right? They wanted to blame the 2008 housing crisis on the American people because they wanted to get homes, and it was the bankers who created the fraudulent loans, knowing that the people didn't know better. Now, should they have known better? That's another conversation when you talk about this poor education system. Okay, they didn't teach the people to know better when it comes to contracts and business and law. Okay, but so we have the same type of situation where they want to make sure that when it hits the fan, that they'll be able to blame somebody else. You won't be able to pinpoint it on the Federal Reserve. You won't be able to pinpoint. Now, we know who it is, so they ain't going to fool us. But the average person won't be able to pinpoint it on J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, and everybody else. Okay?
So I don't know if you saw this, Ricardo, but did you see on Wall Street Silver, we're doing a silver raid tomorrow and April 1st.
Yeah.
So somebody had put in there, would this be the best opportunity to take advantage of buying more at this time? Always with silver. Okay, especially when silver's spot price is whatever they're claiming now, $25, $24. Yeah, so guys, silver raid tomorrow and April 1st. Buy silver. Buy silver through the Sound Money wallet. Get physical silver, whatever you need to do. But the next 2 days, we are doing a silver raid with Wall Street Silver. And as I just showed you guys, the Perth mints out of silver. I didn't have time to prepare this, but they had to change their prospectus, Ricardo, like we saw the COMEX do. So Perth Mint, one of the most prestigious, supposed trusted mints in the world, is running out of silver. They only have 11 1,000-ounce bars left, and they're running dry. They're not answering questions. They're dodging people. They're changing their rules and regulations. Basically, all these people gave them their silver to hold, and it's not there. So this is going to be, interesting to see how it develops when it comes to what Perth Mint is doing.
And we might be seeing it as well. Yeah, somebody said Mexico. Yeah, we mentioned that as well. Yep. They stopped producing the silver Libertads. Also, there was some news on Wall Street today and the other day about the major hedge funds, Archegos Capital Management, and something to where the banks were coordinating the selling of their derivatives and whatnot, but one bank tried to jump the gun. And you're seeing that they're not even able to communicate with each other on how they want to dissolve or liquidate assets or move the market, because they know once the panic starts, once it starts, there's no controlling it. There's no controlled demolition or collapse of this situation once it starts taking place, because everybody's going to want to sell. Everybody's going to want to look out for themselves. And so everybody's going to jump the gun. And what we're seeing here is a tell sign in the silver market where they see that it's not a fad. It's not stopping. Okay. The people are demanding physical. Okay. while the price of the spot price of silver is being suppressed, rigged downwards. Okay. And now, like Mike talked about, we're coming up on a delivery and the silver's not there. There's a major disruption coming in the market and they can't hide it. Now, they might have foreseen this, they might have not, but they're not the all-seeing eye. They don't know everything, folks. They can only respond to a reaction from the problem that they created and try to divert the attention, divert the traffic to something that favors them. But I'm telling you, the people are fighting back. The people are waking up. They're demanding the physical. They want to stop the rigging that's going on in this market. They see what's going on. And we're right behind them, building wealth in precious metal assets and crypto.
No, and I love it, man. And I posted this last night, and I got to give a shout out to Barry here, small business owner in Greenville, Michigan, who owns the Winter Inn. He has a Bitcoin ATM machine in the restaurant. And I never thought I would see that day where, you know, the small town of Greenville would have a Bitcoin ATM. And now my nonprofit, the Financial Freedom Family, is going to actually be like hosting educational, you know, meetups to teach people about gold, silver, and crypto. Because, you know, we were talking last night and, you know, people don't have a way out. You know, in my city, if you don't have a college degree, you're lucky if you can make $15 an hour. You know, the jobs are gone. The industry's been killed. The jobs moved to Mexico decades ago or some other country. So we have to find another way to help people. So I'm looking forward to working with people in my hometown to make that happen. So Ricardo, you know, fire show tonight and Michigan's on, so I got to get going here soon. But again, guys, it's about changing the culture and your mindset. Stop measuring your wealth in the dollar because you know it's going to go down. Why would you measure yourself with something that you know is going to lose? So whether it's assets over liabilities, I measure my wealth in ounces. If you didn't come from a wealthy family, make sure a wealthy family comes from you. Mom, mindset, uplift, manifest, momentum. We have shirts, hoodies, champion hoodies, coffee mugs. That is the runners.shop, the runners.shop. So Ricardo, you know, that's it. 200 ounces of silver, 0.25 Bitcoin, 1,000 Theta. You are now a millionaire or in the 1% in 3 assets that I think are set to do well. So any last words you want to say before we end this tonight and watch Michigan go to the Final Four?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, folks, this is why we said, look, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, this is the opportunity to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you. We're literally in the largest wealth transfer in history. A global monetary reset is taking place right now before our eyes. And if you are thinking of making anything less or being worth anything less than $1 million in 2021, you're thinking too small. They're printing trillions of dollars. The opportunity is out here for those who are seeking it, for those who want freedom, for those who want wealth, for those who want to change their financial position and their outlook. I'm telling you, massive wealth is being created right now for those who are holding the right assets, physical silver, physical gold, and cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. And what you got there, Mike?
I think this comic is probably over about 100 years old. What we're telling you guys has been known for 150 years, but it's been hidden for the last 50 or 60. And this is what it comes down to, guys. You can hit assets and have prosperity and redemption, or you can put your faith in, you know, the dollar, inflation, and get repudiation. That's what it comes down to. It's this simple, guys. And this is like literally like when I used to teach and we would look at old, you know, comics that they would run in newspapers. This was all over the place. They would have these political cartoons of people with silver. It was real money. And, you know, people knew that if you were using dollars, you were going to lose. And somehow in the last 30, 40, 50 years, the education system, the culture, the news, the media has completely been diverted. And that's what we're here to do, is to help wake people up and show them what real money is, what real wealth is, Flip your mindset, start measuring your wealth in assets, and you will win.
Yep. This is an age-old fight, folks. This is something that this country has been fighting pretty much since the inception, because the revolution wasn't about tea and taxes, folks. Okay? The revolution was not about tea and taxes. The revolution was about the colonies' ability to create their own currency, their own notes, their own debt-free, interest-free notes. So what we are experiencing is we're just living through history right now. This is one of the most significant time periods in history. And once again, this is the fight. It's coming down to the people's ability to be able to choose what they want to use as money, how they want to settle debt, how they want to pay for goods and services, as opposed to having a mandate by the government working with a corrupt central bank, private central bank, creating notes where we have to pay that back at interest, when we have the right as a people to create debt-free, interest-free notes. That's what the war was about, folks. Not tea and taxes, but the colonies' ability to create their own money. Okay?
And we're going to show you how to do that with DeFi soon. Because we got the people's money, we got God's money, we got home-based businesses cash flow, and we got this system and this team of like-minded individuals ready to crush it and change the world one family at a time. We will be here tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Standard. Ricardo will be doing the Zoom at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard tomorrow. So connect in the Facebook group. Got the link to the Runners merch, therunners.shop. I'm going to go and watch Michigan win. Ricardo, you the man. You brought the fire as always. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace.